One of today's tasks is to turn this horse manure into that bed. This stuff has maybe been in a heap for 6, 7, 8 months or something. It was already quite rotted down when he dropped it off for me, Ian, so it's much welcomed. I originally piled it up to maybe there, right on these edges like that, so it sunk a good 18 inches and dropped down. There's a lot of worm activity in it, an awful lot of worms, and it's already really nice and crumbly. But all I want to do is I just want to turn it to kind of re-oxygenate the pile. It has sunk down, so I just want to improve the structure of it, get it less lumpy for when it does get used at the back end of this year. I have got another sort of ton builder's bag at the front of the plot of this stuff. However, I've already used the majority of that earthing up the potatoes, so I'm just going to get all this stuff and turn it into this empty bin next to me. I'm also going to mix in a few wood chippings with it. You can see this structure on the surface, it's lovely and crumbly, and that's purely down to the worm activity all over the surface. I suspect as I get further down into the pile we will have slightly less broken down material. There'll probably be little bits of straw and things in it like that. You see, that's less rotted down. There's bits of wood shavings in there, bits of straw. It also doesn't smell as composted as, you know, the finer stuff on the top. It's a bit of a smell with it, not too bad. Yeah, there's material in here that hasn't yet broken down. You can just see straw stems there in it. So that's the objective, to get that turned in, just get a bit of oxygen around it, and get it broken down just a bit better for the end of the year, when it will be used kind of all over the allotments and in the polytunnel. I'll just show you the stuff I'm mixing in with it. Now, this is wood chip that was down on the paths. It was on top of the mypec when I took the mypec off, or the weed membrane from off the paths. This was the stuff at the bottom, so it had already been down 18 months when I took it out the paths. So it's just really nice, you know, a bit woody to mix in with this horse manure, you know, so I've got a nice balance of stuff running through the heap. And obviously once I've turned it this time, I won't turn it again. It will just stay in that box there until I come to use it at the back end of this year. Well, we've gone from my God, it's warm today, to where's me hoodie weather. Just had a few downpours, but anyway I managed to dodge them. And into the workshop, got all the stuff chucked in here. As I thought, the stuff at the bottom was it was still a bit green. It's got that, you know, that horse muck smell to it. The top had no smell at all. So that bottom stuff is now on the top. As you can see, it's back up here. This will sink back down again, there's no doubt about that, but at least the stuff at the top that was really well composted is now down at the bottom, and all this uncomposted stuff is at the top. I've probably put 2.5 bags of wood chip in amongst it and just mixed it in as I did it, and when that sinks a little bit in the next day or two, I'll put what's left in the bag on the front. I'll just dump that stuff on top. I'm just going to go and have a look at that, just in case it's full of worms, because if it is, I might just put a bit of it on there now actually. Let's see what's in here. As you can see, there's not much here, but what there is plenty of these horrible big massive green slugs that come off the field and invade my allotment. There's loads of them in here. Attracted to the smell of the compost, obviously. Oh, there's loads in there. I'm just going to have to spend a while picking all these out. But yeah, this is the problem at night here. These things come over from the field, of which, as I've already said, there will be thousands and thousands of the damn things. Yeah, and they're just, every night they're just heading over here as an army. Right, let's pick through it. And then there are quite a few worms in here, so I may as well just put a bit of this on the top, and then I can put the cover on and leave it. All the blighty leaves from the potatoes and from the tomatoes I've been putting into the hot bin. I'm ultra confident that this compost bin will destroy anything that's inside. If I was to put my hand in there, I'd burn my hand, it's so hot. This has been filled twice now, and it's still continuing to heat up. We're looking for the outer temperature here. 53 now. Let's leave that a minute. And so this is where all the blighty stuff is going. These potato tops. All these sort of dead blighty potato tops here. It's 61.3 degrees at the moment. I had it in a couple of days ago and it was at 68, and you know, it's them sort of temperatures, they're going to burn your hand, them temperatures. So yeah, it's going to kill anything in here, including the potato blight virus and the tomato blight virus. So I've got some more tops to put in today, and as soon as they go in, that's going to generate a load more heat. 62.7. It'll just keep going up this now. It'll probably get to 65, 66 in the next few minutes. I'll take my probe out, which is really hot. Can you see anything surviving in that? Because I certainly can't. Ros, the lady 2 allotments down, has just dropped in, asked me if I wanted these, and they're all blighty potato stems. She's got blight, so she's panicked and ripped all the potatoes out. So yeah, I'm going to compost it. I don't care. Doesn't faze me at all. I've just dug some of my potatoes out as well, so I'm going to get these in the compost bin. Let's see what the bin's looking like, see what the state of it is. It's been a couple of days. Well, sorry, it wasn't a couple of days. Yesterday I put a bit of stuff in here, not much. It was a couple of days before that I put maybe 2 bags of stuff in here. So I know it's been cooking away well, the compost bin. Oh. See how wet that is. Someone was asking me about, do I add moisture to the hot bin? You don't need to. There's enough moisture in the plant material to keep the heat wet. Especially in a hot bin, it all gets trapped in. But oh yeah, guys, so there is. Oh my god, yeah. There's major. This. Can you see the steam coming off it? There's major heat coming out of here. So I'll give you my reasons why. It doesn't really bother me at all putting blighted potato tops in the compost bin. Number one, I feel that there is more than enough heat that gets generated in this bin to destroy the blight fungus. It's not, you know, this bin will get up to 65-70 degrees centigrade, and it's not like it's gonna just get to that and dissipate. No, that heat will stay at that like that for a good week. So you'll get a week of temperatures 65 to 70 degree mark, just, you know, on every little single bit of material in this bin. And, you know, once you're getting up to around 65-70 degrees, right temperature that cooks things. So there's very, very little in the plant world anyway that can survive that, if anything, I think. My other thought is, if it was a coal bin, you know, an open heap, I'd maybe think, well, yeah, well, possibly, yeah, the blight will just sit there in that material and just spread through it and sit there and wait. But I think the heat in this bin, the extreme heat, is a major contributing factor to, you know, killing off all this blight. My other thought is that even if some of the blight spores made it out and through this process and got back and got into, you know, the eventual compost, that doesn't bother me either, because blight needs the perfect conditions to grow in. You know, if it hasn't got the right conditions, blight, it won't take off and it won't thrive. There's my stems going in, my Charlotte potatoes. Well, there's stems going laid in. If you look, people say don't put, you know, potatoes into your compost heap. There's loads of the smaller ones there. There's the original seed potato, a mushy mess. So all these smaller ones go in, and people will say, don't put them in, because they will grow next year when you come to put them on the soil, the compost. I guarantee, guys, 1,000,000% confident they will not grow again. They will be total mush in about 4 days' time. They are never going to see light again. But the nutrients from them will help my plants grow next year. And that now for today is that. And I'll keep monitoring this bin now, but I would say if I bring you back in 2 days, you'll see what's happened to this bin. This is actually 24 hours later, guys, because I thought I'd show you what's happened in here, because I've just got a bit more material to put in. So you can see, my God, it's hot in there. Oh yes, the top of this is really hot now. I probably won't bother trying to drive my hand in there. Oh, it's seriously hot just down there. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I've just got a few bits and bobs to put in off the allotment, a few scraps from home, some more potatoes, these onions, shame, but they smell because the weather's so bad that they're rotting. Got a little bit of comfrey there that is growing outside my allotment. I've got some more of the onion garbage here and some old potatoes. I pulled up my watermelon plant. There's a bit of it. I pulled it out because they're sprawling along the floor, but they're just never going to make any melons. There's one just gone yellow, and the plants themselves don't look too happy, so I think I'm probably maybe a bit too far north to grow them. Sorry, that's the watermelon. That was the other one, was a melon plant that's just gone down. So yeah, that's the watermelon. All it does is produce these little flowers. The flowers die back and then there's nothing there. If I've seen any melons, they're tiny little things, so we may as well take the plant out, because that, oh, there's one, there's a little watermelon there, tiny one, but the plant was starting to wilt. I don't know what's wrong with them. Like I say, I think I'm just too far north to grow watermelons, or this year is just particularly bad this far north for growing watermelons. But whatever the case, I've given up. I'll come back again in 48 hours. Well guys, it's 48 hours exactly, well almost, since I last showed you in the hot bin. And that was the filling I gave it. Feels lovely and warm in there. today is just continuing like the rest of July has. The sky is grey. There's maybe 12-15 degrees today. It absolutely hammered down non-stop torrential rain yesterday, so I've just come here today. Really, look at that, guys. Wow. Yeah, that is really cooking. Looks fantastic. Yeah, you can imagine how hot it is in there, can't you? You can. Literally just adding a bit to it. There's a completely blown cauliflower that is no good for nothing really. So that can go in to make food for next year's cauliflowers. And some more bits and bobs here. These are all my onions, which I pulled up a couple of days ago. This is the state of them. They have just rotted away. They're just so wet. Everything on the allotment's rotting really. They stink of rot. Yeah, so I've took a load home, but you can see from that, just that discoloration on them there, that they're just so soft. What's happened is the water's just got into them and it's just been lying around the bulbs and they've started to rot and go manky. They stink. So I've taken home what I can and I've hung them all up in the workshop just to try and dry them out a bit. Hung them upside down, sort of like that, just try and let some of this moisture drain out away from the bulbs. Don't know how much we're going to get in storage this year, but nowhere near as much as I wanted. These just sound squelchy, they're absolutely horrible. So I think that's all I've got to put in the bin today. But you can see it's once again it's half full. I think I've filled it 3 times now to here. I'm going to fill it once more when I just get a bit of material together. I'll be pulling up some more potatoes in the next day or two, and I'm just going to completely fill the bin, and then that's this bin finished. I'll leave it and then I will start on the bin at the other end. Just let it continue now. And that is it for the compost, guys. What I'll do is I will eventually turn this bin into the centre, and that will probably be 3 to 4 weeks. I will turn it into the middle when all that raging heat has left, and then it will just finish in that centre bin then, and it'll probably be ready for the end of the year. And in the meantime I'll start at the other end on the next bin, filling that one, doing exactly the same. I'll probably use a little bit of this material from the top in the bottom of when I start the next bin, because you know it's active. There's plenty of fungus and bacteria in there, and it'll hopefully just kick start the next bin I start.